As a lot of you guys know, triathlon has a lot of really expensive parts to it between the bikes and the training and the gym memberships, but I have found things over the course of my training that I didn't expect that are under $20 that you should absolutely check out. Hi guys, welcome to Justin Does Triathlon. Like I said, this is not exactly a cheap sport. There are a lot of things we can do to make it a little more affordable. Over the time that I've done triathlon, I have sort of discovered a few things that are actually super cheap that I didn't know about when I started and have made my racing and my training a lot better. The very first thing is a swim towel. For a long time, I took my big, huge, regular bath towel to the pool with me and it was super annoying. The cool thing is obviously they don't take up any space, but you also don't have to wash them as much because they don't hold on to that moisture so they don't get so musky. So I just hang mine up at the end of the day. It dries. I go, 3, 4, 5 days without washing it. Super convenient, and it takes up a lot less room in my swim bag. Don't have to stuff this giant bath towel in, which I have to wash at the end of every night. Just way more convenient. Definitely wish I had gotten one of these a lot sooner. Item number 2 is a race belt. I thought they were for those people who were way fast, who needed to save that 10 or 15 seconds. I'm not that guy, I'm not that fast, I don't need that, so I didn't get one. That said, I've learned that they're actually useful in a lot of other ways. You just pin your race bib onto these little elastic bands and they clip on with these little holders, essentially. So they get your bib off of your jersey. And that has a couple of advantages. The most obvious is you're not pinning your bib to your jersey. So I have a tri-suit, pretty expensive, and I've absolutely gotten small holes in it from when I used to pin my bib to the jersey. So I don't have to deal with that anymore. Secondly, it has these little loops for gels. It's more room to hold fuel on your body without having to stuff it in your back pockets, which is a really nice little thing for me. When you're running, you can spin it around to the back so your number's in your back. You don't have your number on the front of you crunching, and it sounds like a little deal, but for $10, this is a nice way to just solve that problem. Item number 3 are lock laces. What they are, they replace the shoelaces on your shoe with these elastic bands. And the theory behind them is instead of having to tie your shoes, when you get into transition, you just slip your shoes on, slip the lock down, and your shoes are on. Similarly to the race belt, when I was new, I thought, I'm not that fast. My very first race was in about 55 degrees and it was raining, super windy, just dreadful conditions, right? And then by the time I got into T2 to put my shoes on, my hands could barely work and they were so cold and I spent like 2 minutes just tying my shoes and it didn't put me into a good mental place going into the run. And I remember deciding right then, I'm getting lock laces. And I've had similar experiences since where coming off of the bike, your hands are really tired, and it's just one less thing to have to think about. So it's just one of those things that makes your transitions a little bit smoother. Item number 4 is kind of similar to the lock laces in the sense that it's not a requirement. I am a huge fan of these specialized Purist water bottles. Over the course of 4 or 5 years of using practically every water bottle that's sold, these are 100% my favorite. So going forward, if you need to buy new ones, these are the ones I recommend. Their little marketing shtick is they have a coating on the inside that makes it so that powders and stuff, all the stuff you put in your water, that flavor doesn't stick in the bottle, which is super nice because I've absolutely experienced that and it's gross. Secondly, for me, the mouthpieces at the top are actually super comfortable. So don't go out and replace all your bottles right now, but if you're gonna be purchasing a new bottle, these are the ones I like. For those of you who are thinking like, do you like the insulated water bottles? I've used them, they're fine, they work really well. For me though, I still have to stuff those full of ice anyway, which I do with these too. So yes, they might keep it a little bit cooler. I'm already having to put them full of ice and they're already warm at the end of my long rides anyway, so it kind of doesn't matter for me. That's kind of where I landed on that. I hope that helped you guys out. Like I said, triathlon can be super expensive, but there are some things that you can get that are super cheap that are 100% worth the little bit they cost. You guys can follow me on Instagram, which is Justin Does Triathlon, or at Snapchat, which is Justin Does Tri. And please leave comments down below for things that you want me to make videos on, because I remember being new or fairly new, and there's so much information to learn. Leave that in the comment below, and I will try to make a video on it. Happy training, everybody.